let's quickly take a look at the bilateral meetings that S. Jaishankar had yesterday, on Thursday rather, when he in fact interacted with his Chinese counterpart Qin Gang and his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov. With China, as S. Jaishankar has mentioned today, that a large part of the discussion was around the border issue. Jaishankar, in fact, said the focus remained on resolving outstanding issues between the two sides. Peace and tranquility at the border is a must, is what India has once again communicated to China, though China, on the other hand, has been trying to say that the border is generally stable, as they have been pointing out. India disagrees with that assessment. As far as Russia is concerned, S. Jaishankar, as I pointed out, did not mention a Ukraine war at the SCO. In fact, he used the term geopolitical upheaval. Lavrov said that Moscow supports India's G20 presidency. That is extremely important at this point, because India has to drive a consensus in the run-up to the summit in September. And so far, Russia has objected to the Ukraine war figuring in any communique. Lavrov raised the need for fair multipolar order in this present times. Let me now go across to our guests who are joining us here on the show. Dr. Tara Karta, former Director, National Security Council Secretariat, and Prabhu Dayal, former diplomat. Prabhu Dayal, I want to come first to you, sir, on the strong words by S. Jaishankar today against Pakistan. How do you read this?
Well, I would have expected that he uses strong words where Pakistan is concerned, because you have to call out the biggest sponsorer of terrorism in our region. There is absolutely no denying the fact that Pakistan has been pursuing a policy of sponsoring terrorism. It is state-sponsored terrorism. And that is why calling Bilawal Bhutto a spokesman of the terror industry was absolutely appropriate. I think he did not pull any punches, and given the overriding scenario, the fact that there was a Pakistani involvement in the recent terror attack in Punch, where we had lost 5 of our soldiers, it was necessary to make it very clear to the Pakistani foreign minister that this is what we think of him and of his country.
Okay. All right. Dr. Tara Karta, do you think that the Pakistani Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari travelled to India with some expectations that this could perhaps act as an icebreaker, though it was pretty much clear from the beginning that S. Jaishankar, the fact that the invite was sent out to Pakistan was primarily because of the India hosting the SCO summit this year?
I doubt whether he would have had any such expectation, given, Maha, the things that he said at the UN. That's not something anybody is likely to forget on this side. That is one. But even if you set that aside, the point is, even with the best of intentions, how do we know whom Bilawal, does he actually represent the whole of Pakistan government? His party is only in Sindh, right? He and his partners in the coalition are squabbling all the time. You've got Imran Khan at his heels. We don't know whether the army itself is divided. So at this point of time, thinking of any significant changes in policy is very difficult, even with the best of intentions.
All right. Now I want to dwell a little bit on China. Prabhu Dayal, on the issue of China, China is trying to portray that things are generally stable, as it calls, on the border. Time and again, for the last 3 years, India has said that ties cannot be normalized till the border issue is settled, which especially the Eastern Ladakh friction at the moment. How do you see this divergence coming through? Is China trying to de-link the border situation in Eastern Ladakh with the rest of the relationship?
Well, as I see it, the Chinese have been trying to play down the tensions which they have caused at the line of actual control. On our part, we have made it very clear that there cannot be a normal relationship between India and China as long as the Chinese build-up at the line of actual control continues. Now, that is why our External Affairs Minister pointed out that the talks which he held with his Chinese counterpart were focused on peace and tranquility at the border area, because this is of primary importance for us. Now, as the minister also pointed out, the focus of his meeting with the Chinese foreign minister was on resolving outstanding issues and ensuring peace and tranquility in the border areas, because there is no question of our overlooking what the Chinese have been up to and how this tension has been building upwards for the past 3 years. So he was absolutely right in the position that he took.
All right. I'll have to thank both our guests here. Many thanks for joining us. I know it was a very short discussion.